welcome to my Saturday show with myself and the magical, spiritual, and mystical Miranda from Alabama.
Thanks. Thanks.
How are you? How are you?
Good. I'm great.
So Miranda, as I mentioned before, I'm gonna ask you 3 simple questions. And just feel free to answer how much you want to answer, how much you feel free.
Yeah.
Don't feel
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the first question is very simple. What are you doing and why?
Okay. So I have chosen to be a life coach, especially for women. I have helped some men, which seems to work, fairly well. But I've chosen life coaching for women mainly because, obviously I understand them and I understand their viewpoint with life and their experiences, etc. And my main focus is anger, because we are angry about a lot of things. And it's not any one specific thing, it's a lot of things. This world is really upside down, and the only way to get through it is, I think for me, the only way to get through it in my life has been to change how I look at it. So I use the reframing methods to change my viewpoint so that I don't lose my mind. And I like to help people with that because that has been, one of the biggest things that has helped me is to just change how I look at things, and that helps me get through my anger, because when I can look at it differently, I can get to the bottom of it. I figure out why I'm angry or why I'm upset, and I'm there's more to it, but basically you look at why you're upset, you look at the underlying emotions and the source of the problem, and it helps you to change how you see things so that you don't lose control all the time and you have more power in your life, and you live your life to the fullest and live the life that you deserve. And I think everybody deserves that chance, so I like to help with that mainly.
What would you put the camera a bit higher up?
Oh, sorry.
No, perfect. Just, I know anger has many triggers, but
Yeah.
could you, is it possible to pinpoint like one big reason why people are so angry? Especially now, I think the world is very angry.
Yeah, it is. Well, they feel like they don't have any power. There are so many situations that make you feel like you have no power over your life. And the truth is, there are many things that we can't control. I mean, we can't get around it, but there are things that you can control, and you have to just look at those things and concentrate on what you can control and what you can change, and make the best of it. And your life can get better if you do that. There are ways to take power back in your life and to, have the control you want and live the life you want in the best way possible. And people forget about the things that they can control because they're so focused on what's, out. And the idea is to bring your focus back to what you can do and what your options are and what you can change. And it's different for every situation, so it would be hard to go into detail without knowing a specific person's story. But just in general, I would say to look at what you do have control over, because there's always something, and just start with that. And then other times people say they get upset when they're embarrassed or they're ashamed because they lose control of their anger, and they get so upset and they get so mad, and they feel bad about that. And you have to look at why you're really angry, and then also they're disappointed in themselves because they can't get a grip on their emotions. And for me, I like to make little promises to myself about something I'm going to try to start doing, some little habit I want to try to develop, and just keep a little promise to myself as often as possible, and just to practice that. And I think that that helps with building trust with yourself. And when you can build trust with yourself, because the relationship you have with yourself is the most important one. And if you can just build trust with yourself just a little bit at a time, just a little step at a time, you can build on that, and that does help you have more control. Because if you can control yourself, that's perfect, you know. And so I like to concentrate on that, the self-trust especially.
I think, yeah, I think if you find your inner control, so meaning you're more centered, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And I mean, I used to be a very angry person. When I was a child, you know, I pulled out like a bunch of hair this size out of my, like angry I was, you know. So, but you know, with time you do your work and everything. So I believe if you center yourself when you fight, when you work, and like you said, you trust yourself and you work with yourself and you go back into, then you also create a different vibration. Hence, you're gonna attract the less stuff making you angry. You understand? Yeah. Would you agree? Okay, cool. You guys work on yourself. Miranda shows you how, and then you get less angry situations, you know?
Yeah.
Right. Next question. What was your darkest moment in life? Like where you really crashed, hit bottom, and how did you get out of it? That's the, you know, you're not there anymore. So.
Yeah. I think I had more than one darkest point. I've had many darkest points, many. I couldn't choose just one, because I've had a lot. So I wouldn't be able to say which one would be the worst.
One or two. Just the idea behind it to illustrate the way out, to inspire people. Yeah.
One of the worst points was when my father died, and that was 11 and a half years ago. That was bad, because I didn't know what I was going to do with my life. I didn't have, you know, a lot of guidance except from him, and he was such a big supporter for me, and we had a certain connection that I can't have with anybody else, and not with any man, not with anybody, you know, not like that. Well, I've got female friends that I'm close with like that, which is good, but I'll probably never have that with any man ever again. And because he understood me on levels that no one else has been able to, and he supported me and believed in me and understood me. And to me, one of the greatest expressions of love is acceptance, and he accepted me in every way. We still bumped heads because both of us were very independent and determined. So we argued a lot, but it was because we were so similar. But when I lost him, even after all the things that happened, all the fights, all the arguments, everything, after all of that, when I lost him, I just thought, oh my God, you know, what am I going to do? And somehow I survived. I continued, and the only thing that I could do was just to tell myself, well, I can shrivel up and die, or I can continue living and just make the best of this. And right after he died, I had my son, and then I thought, okay, well, I really can't give up now. You know, I can't. I didn't have a choice, and I just thought, well, I lost my father, but I have my son now, and I can, you know, work on myself, try to set a good example, and build a life for me and him. And that was my motivation. And the timing was just perfect. It just happened that way. And I do believe that things happen when they're supposed to happen. You know, it happens for a reason, especially the timing. because when I look back on my life and look at all the things that happened that I thought were catastrophes, at the time I thought it was a catastrophe, but now if I look back, I think, you know what, that was necessary. And losing Dad, it's hard for me to hear myself say it was necessary, and it's hard for me to disagree with that. But it forced me to learn more about life, and it forced me to be independent, which is what he wanted anyway. And then when I had my son, that was all the motivation I needed to really continue, and that has helped me figure out things about myself, what I want from life, what I don't want from life, how to set a good example, because your child carries on all the patterns, all the things that you teach them, all the stories, everything you do, and they see everything you do, and you don't realize it, but they notice everything, and it makes you think about what you do every day. And I needed that too. So even though that was the darkest point, it did, in a weird way, it did benefit me, even though it was terrible. And other bad times in my life where I thought I was really at the bottom, and I was, but I still, I don't know, I just pulled myself out. I just said, well, I can drive this car off the bridge, or I can just keep pushing and just see what I can do with my life. I just want to see what I can do. I'm very dramatic, so I think about those two extremes when I'm in a bad moment like that. I would always think about stuff like that. I can either die or just keep going, and that was it. And I said, well, I'll just keep going. Let's just see what I can do. And I've gotten better over time. I've gotten a lot better. I've made some changes in my life recently. I can breathe better. I can think more clearly, and I'm simplifying my life so that I can focus more on what I want to do, focus more on my clients, focus more on my son and my family, and of course working on myself, which I'm always trying to do, because I do try to set a good example. And so lately I'm feeling good about life. Things have really gotten better for me, and I feel, even after all the hard times, I still learned, and I had the choice to give up or push myself. And you have to ask yourself, is my life worth it? Is my life worth it? And that's it. It's either yes or no. There's no gray area. You just, so.
I think it's amazing you're here on the planet. I feel really special to have met you and talking to you. I think you're such a light, and you have so much to give. And let me reassure you, you go through all that, whatever trauma you go through, because you learn from it and you help others.
Yeah.
And this is your purpose here of life. And you have a beautiful son. And this alone, you can't let him down. I won't let you let him down.
That's right.
It's like, and that you said, we all work on ourselves until we die. I mean, there are very rare, a few people who have reached the 5th, 6th, 7th dimension. Let's be very honest, there are not so many. And I think the main reason for it is that we are living in this world, in this illusion, But having said that, you're a blessing to this planet. So, okay.
So are you.
And never give up on yourself,
That's right.
You're doing brilliant, beautiful work, and we need you. I mean, if you're not happy where you are, just get your stuff moved somewhere else, Sometimes that helps.
That's right. Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Right? It's definitely. Like sometimes it's just the place, not the right place,
Yeah, that's right. I've done that too, and it helps. Yeah.
To change the whole scenery, sometimes we're in an environment that's just too toxic for us,
Yeah. That's right.
And, No, but, and now my last question,
Okay.
because we're talking about, should I stay or should I go? So imagine
Mm,
today is your last day on earth, right? I know now it's really more big, but imagine
mm,
you die, you're not
mm.
gonna wake up tomorrow. What would be your last message for the world, for people?
Oh, that's a very good question. My last message for the world. Well, I would just say think about everything you do and think about what kind of impact it has on you and what kind of impact it has on the people who are important to you. Um, and the people who love you and admire you and watch everything you do, you know, obviously your children and people like that, or your students or whoever is admiring you, um, they will remember you and pass on stories about you forever. And if you want to leave a good message, you know, you just have to think, okay, when people talk about me in 50 years after I'm gone, what are they going to say? What would I like for them to say? You know, um, and that helps you to think about what you do and the influence that you have and your legacy and stuff like that. I would say that for the world around you, but also, you know, for anyone who has children, because the child obviously it is going to be the first person who is closest to you and will remember you and carries on your legacy forever. So that person's opinion is important, and the influence that you have on them, and the stories that they have about you, and the memories and the lessons that they learn from you. You know, I always try to make sure that I do the right things with my son, so that when he's old and tells his grandchildren about me, um, they can know that I did my best and that I cared and that I always wanted to help people and that I had good intentions and that I worked hard and that I did everything I could. And that's what I would want to leave behind is that. That's a good question.
I love your reply. Thank you.
Thanks.
I'm gonna just stop the recording. Guys, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Miranda, for your time, for your
Thank
beautiful
you.
work, for your amazing insight. Guys in America, Alabama, in worldwide, Miranda, if you have anger issues, please contact Miranda.
Thank you.
Mainly female, but she works with guys as well, but behave. So thank you very much. Thank you.
That's amazing. Thank you.